see what an order looks like to the requester for the workgroup that we've created. There's a couple ways you can create a new order. You can either click on request a new order, or under orders you can go place order. They both do the same thing. Because I only have one workgroup where I am a requester, it didn't ask me which workgroup to choose. It just went directly in. You'll notice that the first time I come in here, it has this take the tour. This is the same as this button here. So if I hide this, I can still see it by coming into here. If I type in some text, this is a sample. If I take the tour, it gives me some information. So information will be restored. It uses local storage on this computer. And this will step you through, see it says enter some text. It'll just step you through each of the fields. Went back to the sample. If I go through here again, and instead of hitting quit the tour, I hit next, it'll step through each of the fields describing the information. Let's go quit again. This is a sample, is restored. It's a little bit slow sometimes. There's maybe a 5-second delay. So if you enter a whole bunch of information and immediately close your browser, it may not all be there. So if I choose a vendor, and I'll wait just a moment. So if I hit the back button, it says, oh, looks like we're on here. I go, okay. That'd be the same if you close the browser and open it again. It'll try and put the information back. So these are the vendors to choose from. Let's say I didn't want that vendor. I want to add a vendor that's not in Davis. So I can choose Amazon. No address that I know of. You can enter a URL or any of this information, but it's not required. Nice thing about this, though, is they're linkable fields. So I create vendor. I'm using Amazon. I could also type Fisher, select that. That's not the one I want. I want Amazon. Required fields are bold with red star. Depending on your business practices, though, you may require them to enter all this information. This is the one I want, but again, I could add other shipping addresses. So if I enter in something that's invalid, you see it shows red. That's green, so it's correct, but I haven't filled out the rest of the required fields. Get price. There's extra information you can enter. You could say URLs, commodity codes. You go search for body. There's actually a human body part, miscellaneous. I don't want all that. Let's just pick that. Gives you the code. Don't really care about it because it's not a pizza. You can enter multiple items. You can either choose to split by line, select an account in the drop-down list, or choose an approver account manager, or split the order itself. If I choose account manager, I'm given a list from those only in the workgroup. It doesn't grab the inherited ones. If I pick myself, and pick myself. If I were to go back in and choose an account, because you can only have one of these, that information is now cleared out. For this example, I'll select and leave the approvers optional, and I will also have the account manager as anyone in the workgroup. Here are the two conditional approvals that I were talking about. So this one was from the work group, and this one was from the administrative work group. I can't remember which, to be honest. So I'll just choose yes for one of them. It doesn't matter. Controlled substances. If you choose yes, then you have to fill out the required fields. I'm going to choose no because pizza isn't. So this is a custom field. So I can give green as my favorite color. This is an optional field. Don't have to enter it. Date needed. Let's say there. Allow a back order. Yes. I can upload files if I want or add extra comments. If I choose save for later, I can prepare it for other people, other requesters in here, in which case when they open it, it would be as if they submitted it. I'll leave it for myself because I wasn't quite ready. If I go in under orders, saved requests, that's now here. I can load it up. That information's all there. I want to keep those options. So I go right to the bottom. If you need to go to particular portions, you can click on the navigation bar on the side, but it's the order preferences that I want. And I'll do create to submit the order. It's now been successfully created. If I go back to the home page, you can see that because I'm both the approver, the account manager, and all of that for this, I have it under all these tabs. They'll only show a maximum of 8. If you go view orders like this, it will basically open up the order history page. That's the basis of creating an order. Because have access to it, I can also go in and approve and deny it. But if I pretend I don't have that information, even if it's past my stage, I can still upload files and I can still add notes. And if I go look back at my home page, those comments are the recent comments in here. Behind the scenes, I added another normal work group where I'm a requester, just to quickly show you what it looks like when you are a requester with access to multiple work groups. If I create a new order, it now asks me which one I want to use. So if I use a different one, you'll notice that conditional approvals only has, is this an IT purchase? Because this work group has no conditional approvals. It's only inheriting the conditional approval from the organization. It does inherit the custom fields as well, because that's attached to the organization as well. For this order, I'm going to do something a little bit different, but it's something that often comes up. So I'm just going to give it some simple information. I don't have to enter a vendor. Give it my name. Give it an address, because those are required fields. If you don't select it, it lets you know. If you try and submit it, it won't until you've corrected all the problems. So select one. Again, it's just going to be simple. So I'm not going to split by line, although I could, in which case you have to select all the accounts. I'll show you that in another demonstration in just a moment. Here I'm going to choose an account. So we have these accounts here. I go, oh, that's not the one I'm looking for. I search for one that's not in the work group. This causes much confusion. So I search, oh, that's the one I want. I select it. No problem. Have all this information. I'm going to choose color, pick a date. Now I create it. Now, you're wondering where it may have gone. So if I look at home, I have the order that I just created, but it's not my urgent one because it's not there. It's the one I just created. It's currently in the approver level because on this order I'd said always require an approver. You'll see that that shows all the approvers there are. But if I look, it's directly assigned to this person as account manager. That's the actual person who's the account manager for that account in Davis. If I approved this, it would now go to them to approve. They'd get an email notification. Even if they're not set up anywhere else in the system, they'll still get a notification. They will have to either approve or deny it. If they're away, there's nothing you can do except cancel the order and duplicate it, resubmit it with a different account. So anytime you see somebody directly assigned like that, and they're not an approver in the work group, or an account manager, sorry, that's what's happened. They've selected an account using that search, which was not set up in the work group. I'm just going to cancel this one. If I wanted to, I could duplicate it. It's got all the information that I've entered, even the account, but I wouldn't want to choose that account. I'd choose a different one. So how would you fix this? Either they don't use that account, or you have to add that account to the work group. If I go look at this work group, the details, synchronized accounts, it's not in there. The only way to get that account in there is to unsynchronize these accounts and add it in. That means that the accounts will not be updated nightly from Davis. It's something that you'll have to do manually. So here I'm specifically going to be talking about splitting an order between different accounts. So I request a new one. Fill out the required fields. Now it's possible to split an account between an order between multiple accounts per line item. So I can add 2 accounts. I'm going to pick accounts that are all in this work group so that it won't assign someone special. You can type in a percent, so let's say 50%. If I type in 50% here, this time it worked fine. Sometimes there's a tenth of a penny left behind. So the other thing you can do is on the amount field, if you press Control Enter, it will populate the remaining amount. Anytime you change any of these, it updates everything else. So now I have an unaccounted amount. Again, I could go to this field and hit Control Enter. It'll put the remaining percentages in. If you choose to split by line item, every line item that you have a value, you have to have an account. So if I were to submit that now, I still have to fill out the required fields. If I go to the all line items, it has the account information for each one of these. The other thing I can do, I go and create a new order. Should have just duplicated because that would be easier. I can split this entire order across multiple accounts. I can add more line items. If you add multiple ones but don't enter an account in or anything else, they will be ignored. So you can see the unaccounted amount goes down. Again, in the amount field, if I go Control Enter, it'll put the remaining amount in there. Again, I can create this order.